Recently, Jean Bradley underwent some assessments for some things that were reported by her parents, as well as schools and teachers. These assessment results are as follows. She was given the UNIT test, Universal Nonverbal Intelligence Test. In two areas she identified as very delayed, that'd be reasoning quotient and her symbolic quotient. But then there were three areas that she also showed as just delayed, memory quotient, non-symbolic quotient, and her full scale IQ. Um, Moving on, she was also assessed using the Woodcock-Johnson Achievement Test 3. Um, Her broad reading score was a 71, which shows low. In addition to that, her broad math was 47, which also was in a very low range, along with her broad writing, which is also 62 in a very low range. She was also administered the Adaptive Behavior Assessment System 2 teacher, in which she was ranked extremely low in two categories, communication and school living. And this is to assess her function, her daily living. And along with that, she was also ranked or scored in the borderline range for health living, seizure, and self-care. Now, we also assessed her with the wide range assessment of visual motor abilities. Um, she scored a 62, 55, and 57 in the visual motor, visual spatial, and the fine motor skills. The average score is a 100 with a standard deviation of 15. And then lastly, she was administered the comprehensive assessment of spoken language. With this, we have four different categories in which there was a total core, total core composite score put together at the end. Her total core composite score was a 63, which also again fell below the average range of 100 with a standard deviation of 15. Now, because of these things, some of the things that she was experiencing, some of the things that were reported, she was chosen to go a math goal, where she is to identify the necessary math functions that she has to use, given a word problem between addition and subtraction. It has been reported that she's a third grader who is actually below grade level. So this would be something to bring up her skill set to prepare her for those classes, prepare her for that grade level. And then also for her function of daily living, we also wanted to make sure that she can transition smoothly with no more than one prompt from her teacher or staff member, because that's very important for her to be able to move from one activity to the next. And we don't want to be able, or rather, we don't want to have issues where she might delay that. So with that, we chose those goals to further progress her in life as well. Again, it's a daily living thing, so she wants to be able to move from one activity to the next and understand that and you want to do that without prompting her so much. Now, lastly, for the progress monitoring, we chose a simple data collection sheet where we mark down whether or not she's achieving this daily during these assessments or not. And then we also chose a graph where you can see the progress as it moves on throughout the school year. And then lastly, we also chose something else. For her math, we chose the NWEA, I'm sorry, MAP testing. And that keeps a record of her math scores as well. And that can correlate to her grade level, her age range, which should be in comparison to her same age class peers. And then for her daily living, we're going to keep a daily monitoring point sheet to help her with that, to make sure and keep track where she's tasked to earn a certain number of points, so that way she'll be able to move on and earn points. And it's a part of a positive behavior enforcement system that we utilize.